This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Do you ever have a story that you just can't get out of your head?
One that you play the details of over and over with your friends?
Well, you've come to the right place. I'm Claire.
And I'm Susan.
And this is Justice Pending,
a weekly true crime podcast where we discuss tantalizing crimes with more questions than answers.
Hey, welcome back to Justice Pending. I'm Claire.
And I'm Susan. And Claire, I need to start today's episode with a confession.
Oh boy, let's hear it.
When I first read the headline, "Police say a social media star robbed the Louvre," I thought it was clickbait, and I did not click that.
Oh, definitely. I assumed it was an exaggeration, it was missing key information, and all would not be as it seemed.
Don't you think Ocean's 11, Master Criminals, you think really well thought out, decades-long plots?
Sure, not like a Instagram influencer, right? It's gotta be more than that.
Yeah, and yet here we are.
And yet, yeah, this story is very real, very current, and surprisingly complicated.
We've covered, as so many have, the brazen daytime robbery at the Louvre Museum in Paris in a previous episode back in October when it was breaking news.
And now authorities are saying the heist was allegedly carried out by four men, one of whom had built a following as a stunt biker, an amateur athlete, and something of a local legend, Susan.
I know, and what makes this case so fascinating, obviously we both eventually clicked, all right?
Yep.
Isn't just how the robbery happened, but the portrait that's emerging of the man at the center of it all.
Yeah, so this is not a simple criminal mastermind story. It's about identity, it's about reinvention, community, and the tension between who someone is to the people who know them and who they may be when the stakes are high.
That is right. Let's go back to the basics here because it's been a minute. So let's go back not too long ago, October, Paris, the Louvre, most visited art museum in the world, arguably.
Right. It's broad daylight. It is not any nothing seems unusual that day, right? It's a typical morning, and four men look like they are using a truck mounted lift to do some construction, right? They're wearing vests. Everything appears to be on the up and up from the casual observer, at least.
People are even in the Louvre at the time and
Yes.
Nobody's questioning.
Yeah, it's open. It's open. So
it's open. Yeah. They take 8 pieces of royal and Napoleonic era jewelry that, all valued at roughly a little over $100 million. And then they disappear.
Yes. So the sheer audacity of it stopped France and the world in its tracks. People could not get enough of this story. It wasn't a smash and grab. It was clearly orchestrated, planned, and carried out very methodically. They knew what they were doing, where they were going, and how to get away with it.
That is right. So it's really, who does this, right? I think the world was like, wow, who? So brazen. Wow, who could get away with this? So the police, they do, capture certain individuals. They don't release names, but they say they're on it. And then it comes out that one of the men involved is a guy named Abdoulaye N. And for now, they're only using his last initial, which is the N part of that.
Right.
But he's 39 years old. He's from Aubervilliers, a working class suburb of North Paris. He's a local boy.
Right. I mean, most people don't know him by his given name, actually. They know him as something else.
Yeah, he is known online on social media as Doudou Cross Bitoum.
So I'm French, as you might have guessed by my last name, Sanama, but I don't really speak it, Susan. I think your French pronunciations are way better than mine, actually.
Not so sure about that, and sorry if I've said it all wrong, French
Look,
people. French
I
people.
listened to quite a few tutorials before this episode. I was plugging words in, asking how to pronounce them in English. So we're trying to do the best English approximation of these French words. I had to look up doo cross batum because I was so curious. Um, the best I can tell, it basically translates to sweetheart street cyclist, which is so great.
Yeah, and he's actually a social media phenomenon. He posts videos of himself doing motorbike stunts around famous parts of Paris,
Yeah.
all set to rap music.
Right? So it's pretty interesting and entertaining to watch. He knows what he's doing. And so, he also goes by another nickname, which is a blend of Tupac Shakur and this famous park in France, Parc de Bercy. So he goes by Pac de Bercy. And this is just part of his online persona. He's like this rap, star wannabe like rapper guy, and he's also a very talented motorcyclist.
He is, and people love him, not, just like in a community, in a social following way,
Yeah.
and I think like in real life, in his own community.
Yeah, so he has a lot of friends. He's well known. He loved to exercise. He would do these street workouts like calisthenics, like where you don't need kind of like CrossFit probably, where you don't need a lot of equipment, but you're doing like really intense stuff. And he would bring like snacks, like fresh fruit to give people, that he was working out with him. Friends described him as just a generous guy.
Yeah, and, people I think this stuck with me. People call him a legend, like, not because he's
Yeah.
famous, but he's, like, present, and he is not someone operating on the fringes of society. He's not shady.
Right. It's not what you think of whenever you are picturing, and I mean, these are stereotypes, these can be
Yeah.
cliches, right? But you picture this criminal who would be capable of carrying out some type of, robbery like this, and you think hardened con, right? You do not think like friendly guy, like, going out, handing out apples. Like you just
I
don't.
think organized crime. I
Yeah.
mean, I go,
Oh,
like, to
totally.
the extreme
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. So it's definitely a different picture than the idea that this was just a cold, calculated criminal. People have layers. There's complexity. But it does make the allegations against him harder to reconcile.
True. Now, we do need to look at the fact
Yep.
that he does have a criminal record, Clara.
Yes, Abdullah has a lengthy criminal record. It has 15 entries according to police. There's theft, a robbery conviction back in 2015. So that was like 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And tell me about the other one.
Oh, well, like, I hesitate to use the word favorite, but, like, in 2008, he rammed a car into an ATM. I mean, clearly, this is a guy who's trying to find a way to get a lot of value in a short amount of time.
Yes,
So,
yeah, it does seem like he's like, where are the goods? I'm just gonna go grab them, right?
bang for my buck.
Yeah,
Yes.
totally, totally. So he, he was also arrested in 2019. That's the most recent one that I'm aware of. It
Mhm.
was related to another robbery, but he was cleared of that charge, Susan.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a clean slate, and people around him believed he had changed. It's not that
Yeah,
anyone was holding this against him. He was really part of the community and out there.
right, right. The idea that, basically 10 years ago, he had been on the wrong side of the law, but since then he'd been um an upstanding member of society as far as anyone knew, and he'd become this beloved sweetheart street cyclist, due to bit by Batum, right? So the idea that he's this different guy now, right?
I mean, there's certainly
But it seems like that was not exactly the fairy tale, that is reality here. So police arrested 4 men in total, and they all had ties to that suburb of Paris, Aubervilliers. So that's a connection, Susan.
That's the connection. And, one perpetrator was caught trying to leave the country, another detained hundreds of miles away. I mean, good for the police for
Yeah.
figuring this all out. I even with all of the data and tracking and everything we have today, I do think I am still very impressed with solid police work like this, that they can just find people who are
Yeah, boots on the ground. Yeah.
yeah. And they have partial confessions, and it looks like it looks like this is the crew.
It really does. So authorities are racing to recover the jewelry before it's dismantled and sold. But I don't know. The clock might have already run out on that, Susan.
I agree. Hopefully the cultural loss is reversible. It doesn't feel like it at this point, but one never knows.
Right. At least we have the pictures, right, Susan?
Yeah,
We know what they used to look like.
yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, this story really is straight out of a movie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone can believe that A, that they pulled it off, B, it's happening, it's real, and it is really entertaining, honestly. Like,
Right. Yeah. It's so entertaining that you can forget that there are real people at the center of it.
that's right. I mean, really, that what I thought was clickbait then turned out not to be was the fact that the robbery happened in the first place was unbelievable. Then the fact that it's a social media star, equally unbelievable.
Yeah, and his friends were shocked as well, which, I mean, obviously the people that he was arrested with have connections to his community, but it sounds like, if the allegations are true, that he had really kept his lives separate. And so
Yeah.
there were people that knew that he was back into criminal things, and there were people that did not. And they thought that his entire source of income was social media influencing and, maybe some personal training on the side. Um, and his friends were stunned. They were quoted in the media saying that they believed that he had changed, that they believed in his redemption. So that kind of broke my heart a little bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, what is it? You can fool some of the people. What is that line? You can't fool all the people all the time.
Right,
So
right.
clearly someone was onto him. But this case is still unfolding, believe it or not.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for the next update, Susan. I can't wait to find out. We don't know all the identities, right?
Yep,
So
that's right.
if
Maybe they
one
were
of
his
them
backup extras in the background of those videos. Who knows?
could be, right? Yeah, stay tuned. It remains to be seen what the ending of this story will be. But thanks for joining us for another episode of Justice Pending. We will be back next week with an all new case.
Until then, stay safe, stay curious, and stay tuned.
Justice Pending is recorded in Dallas, Texas for Rebel Studios. It's hosted by me, Claire Sanama, and Susan Passoni. Our theme music is Bending Truth, licensed at premiumbeat.com. We appreciate all listener feedback. Leave a review wherever you're listening right now, and we might read it on the air. Thanks for joining us.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.